Welcome to the Fate of Ukraine channel. Intimidate Putin. Ukrainian aircraft crashed 110 kilometers before Kremlin. Messages that caused panic in Russia appeared. Russian television broadcasts were interrupted and all flights suspended. A mysterious extraterrestrial object has been spotted in the sky. Putin gave the order to shoot. Russian warplanes are chasing the mysterious aircraft. The armed drone, which crashed into a village near Moscow, the capital of Russia, is the first of its kind. Russian media shared photos of the wreckage with fear. As the first year of Russia's attack on Ukraine has passed, the airstrike that has come closest to Kremlin has officially taken place. A drone crashed in a village in Kolomna near capital Moscow. Local sources also began to share a photo of the drone wreckage taken a few meters from a gas plant located near the village of Gubastovo in Kolomna. Russian authorities, on the other hand, reached the wreckage of the unmanned aerial vehicle, which reached the bottom of Gazprom's natural gas distribution station. However, the sighting of a drone belonging to Ukrainian army in this region created great chaos throughout Russia. Russian Secret Service and other agencies began investigating the case. The location of the unmanned aerial vehicle is 110 kilometers from the capital Moscow. This is the first time such a close threat to Kremlin has been recorded. The drone wreckage in Kolomna came to light hours after Russian Ministry of Defense announced that Ukrainians had attempted 2 drone strikes in southern Russia at midnight. Ukrainians had previously carried out drone attacks on Russian air bases where strategic bombers were deployed. Russian leader Vladimir Putin, on the other hand, called the Secret Service Federal Security Service officials after the incident was heard and demanded that the special forces entering Russia from Ukraine be stopped. Putin also demanded that the intelligence service respond to the operations of Western countries and Ukrainians against Russia. Another heavy blow to Putin was dealt in Belarus. In the incident in question, Putin's spyplane Beriv A-50U, worth approximately 350 million euros, was targeted by unmanned aerial vehicles. While all these developments were taking place, it was claimed that an unidentified object was seen in the sky in the city of Petersburg, Russia. In the news in the Russian press, it was stated that the Petersburg airspace was closed after the allegations. It was stated that Russian warplanes took off to investigate the region. Suspended as well as all flights from Pulkovo Airport in St. Petersburg. In the statement made by the city authorities on the subject, it was stated that aircraft will not be accepted at Pulkovo Airport temporarily and flights will not be carried out. Published messages that caused panic in Russia. Television broadcasts were interrupted and all flights had to be suspended. In Russia, television and radio channels interrupted their broadcasts and issued a missile attack warning, and Pulkovo Airport announced that it had suspended all flights, causing panic in the country. On the other hand, Biological Defense Forces Commander Igor Kirillov suggested that there might be an attack. Commander of the Russian Defense Forces, Igor Kirillov, made a statement that fell like a bomb on the agenda. Stating that a very violent attack could be carried out in the front area, the Russian authorities gave a great alarm throughout the country. A train with chemicals arrived in Kramatorsk accompanied by foreign nationals and was towed to the site of the local Kuibyshev metallurgical plant, Kirillov said. Special cargo is unloaded here. There were 16 closed metal boxes in the wagon. Half of them had a chemical hazard sign, BZ inscription, and 2 redline signs. On the other hand, Russian television and radio channels interrupted their broadcasts with a sudden message today. In the message that caused panic among the people was, "Attention! Air raid alert is on. Go to shelters immediately. Attention! The threat of missile attack." The Ministry of Emergency Situations of Russia announced in a statement on Telegram that the warning in question was caused by an attack by hackers. Another message that caused panic in Russia came from Pulkovo Airport in the city of Petersburg. The airport announced today that it is suspending all its flights, but did not explain why. While there was no explanation on the subject from official channels, the Russian press wrote that an unidentified object, similar to an unmanned aerial vehicle, was seen over the city. Although the Russian news site Baza claimed that an unidentified object was seen in the sky and that warplanes were dispatched to the region, this information could not be confirmed by international agencies. According to data from flight tracking sites, many planes taking off for Petersburg had to change their route or turn back after the sighting of unidentified flying objects 160 kilometers from the city of St. Petersburg. 5 warplanes took off urgently. Pulkovo International Airport, which is estimated to have been closed due to UFO, reopened to flights in the evening. According to local media reports, Russian military planes began searching for the intruder over Pulkovo Airport. The flight radar aircraft tracking system did not detect any civilian aircraft in the skies over Petersburg. The airport, located about 160 kilometers outside of the city, canceled all inbound and outbound flights early this morning. According to the news in the Russian news agency TASS, restrictions on flights have been lifted at Pulkovo International Airport, which was closed in the morning. The takeoffs and landings of planes were stopped at Pulkovo International Airport in St. Petersburg, and it was explained that this was caused by an undetermined object flying in the area. An expert named Manu Gomez wrote on Twitter that there were many reports of an unidentified object at the airport. Gomez announced that at least 5 Russian military aircraft, 2 of them Su-35 and MiG-31, were in the sky to intercept the UFO. On the other hand, it was claimed that UFO was seen in the direction of the Gulf of Finland. While different unconfirmed reports indicated that the object was an unmanned aerial vehicle, a journalist said that similar images were also seen in the North Caucasus and Belgorod. Russian broadcaster Bazis said that aviation authorities have implemented the Carpet Plan, which requires all planes except military or rescue planes to land. This plan is usually activated when unidentified objects are seen in Russian airspace. This call is also used when something crosses the state border of the Russian Federation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky dismissed a general who led the fight against Russian troops in the east, where he was in a difficult situation. However, Zelensky did not give any justification for this move. The land forces commander went to the region to give morale to the soldiers. Zelensky made changes on the war front. With a one-line decree, the president dismissed the commander of the Joint Forces of Ukraine, Eduard Moskalyov, who participated in the fighting in the Donbass region. Zelensky also mentioned Moskalyov while listing the military commanders he met in his daily speech on Friday. Moskalyov was appointed to this post in March 2022, shortly after Russia's operation in Ukraine. There was no statement about the dismissal on the social media accounts of the Joint Forces Command. Zelensky's move came amid fierce fighting near Bakhmut, a strategically important town in eastern Ukraine, particularly in the Donetsk region. Russian forces are working hard to take full control of the 2 eastern regions that make up Donbass. Zelensky has described the military situation in the east in recent weeks as variously difficult and painful. Pro-Moscow troops concentrate their efforts on the city of Bakhmut, trying to push Ukraine back, but without success. This is why it causes demoralization and desertions in Bakhmut and in the Russian army, especially among the soldiers. Russian administration has difficulties in keeping the soldiers in the region. On the Ukrainian side, Land Forces Commander General Alexander Syrsky will visit the region at the weekend to talk strategy with the troops defending the town of Bakhmut and the surrounding villages. Russian mercenary group Wagner is still making intense efforts to take Bakhmut. But local sources say there was no major Russian advance. Wagner Group was able to achieve some success in Bakhmut region, albeit small. Yevgeny Prigogine, the founder of the Wagner Group, also said that Yagodnoy region north of Artyomovsk has begun to be controlled by Russian forces. Ukraine is planning an offensive in the coming months to liberate some areas occupied by Russian troops in the east and south. These areas include the city of Mariupol, where Russian commanders are likely to be concerned about a series of explosions at military sites, according to recent assessments by British defense experts. Experts stated that 14 explosions have occurred in Mariupol since the beginning of February. Experts say Mariupol is 80 kilometers behind the front line. We have come to the end of another video. You can like the video to support us. By subscribing, you can easily follow new videos. See you.